Hi, my name is Bill Malone, and this is my video discussion board submission for EDU 631. I've selected to respond to the question topic number 1. What new idea will change the way in which you use intellectual property of others? First, according to the textbook written by Simonson, intellectual property is a blanket term for creation of mind, such as literature, inventions, design, brand names, product logos, so on and so forth. Anything that comes out of a person's mind is yours. It's intellectual property. You own what you mentally create. These works are protected by laws called copyrights, patents, trademarks. There's a lot of laws created to protect your intellectual property, or the intellectual property of the content creator. In the business world, intellectual property is an asset and is used to make money. Therefore, they're very protective of that product. Their product is what they produce out of their mind. At the same time, most educational content resources that we use as educators, books, videos, so on and so forth, are automatically protected by copyright. Copyright holders get to choose how their intellectual material is used. We don't get to decide just because it's easy. Only they get to decide. Also keep in mind that copyrighted material is protected right away. Just if your student creates something or I create something, it's protected as soon as we write it in a word processing software. It's protected as soon as we save it and print it. It doesn't have to go through the government. It doesn't have to be filed by the state. As soon as it's protected, we have to keep in mind that once someone creates something, we have to be careful with it. Also, as Davidson noted in his article about ebooks for education, this also includes ebooks, which are easy to cut and paste out of and used illegally. However, content creators can protect that intellectual property because it's just hard to share it. If I use a Kindle, which I do quite a bit, it's hard for me to share it with someone that uses a EDUC or so forth. So they protect their intellectual property with that technology. According to Moore, this discussion of the ethics of educational technology is just not studied very often. There's just not a lot of research going on about it or even discussed. The question is, how am I going to change the way I use other people's intellectual property? I'm going to be more intentional with and more careful with how I use other people's work. I'm going to not be so. It is not so common for me to copy and paste things from people's things. Like I said, I use ebooks, but I plan to ask permission for their material, cite sources carefully, to make every effort to give credit for use of materials that have become the asset for what has come out of someone else's mind. I agree with Moore. The internet technology has made it far too easy to steal other people's intellectual work. We have to be more diligent in our efforts to be true to our morals, and I intend to be much more careful. I hope you enjoyed this. God bless.